When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
News team, assemble!
It's back and bigger than ever. It's the Unofficial 40 from SoonerScoop.com. Now, here's the entire SoonerScoop crew. Carrie, Josh, Eddie, and
George.
All right, welcome back. It is another edition of the Unofficial 40 podcast where the crew is here. Merry Christmas, everyone. If you're listening to this on Christmas Day or if you're in the car, taking the kids somewhere. Kids, Santa is real. And everybody on the pod, we realize this, right? Santa's real. So
I think by you saying that makes me question it a little
no,
bit.
It goes without saying.
I'm just saying there's lots of skeptics in the
said.
world. There are a lot of skeptics in the world. And I'm here, kids that are listening in their parents' car, I want you to know Santa is real. Don't let other kids at your school tell you otherwise. And the elf on the shelf, I don't know about that.
When Lainey comes home with questions, I just scream at her until she acknowledges that Santa is real. Like that's how we parent in this house.
Do the girls, are they skeptical at all?
The older one is aware of any possible situations out there. The younger one is not. So, yeah. So that is where we're at with that.
Do you have to have a talk with the older one to say, don't tell your sister that he's not real?
Oh, yeah.
Or if you think he's not real, don't tell her that.
We had to have like a whole conversation about like now, like it just sounds so cheesy. I won't go through the whole thing, but it is like a conversation of like now you get to sell the magic with us, like that kind of deal. So they are in the house, so I have to be careful of all that I say. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so
are you elf on the shelf people?
100%, and I hate it so much. It's the worst. It was the worst idea we ever undertook. It's awful, and every year you're like, and here we go, and you try to make ideas, and then by the end of it, you're just like throwing him on the tree, and just like, yeah, he's up there now. So you lose all hope.
He moves on the tree, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
He moves to the tree.
That's what I meant to say. He climbed there by himself with absolutely no assistance from myself.
All right, it is Merry Christmas to everybody out there. I hope everybody is getting to spend some time with some family. Eddie has been off radio all week, and he's never been happier. I mean, you've just been in a magical mood every day, Eddie. It's a joy to come to work.
It's been great. May never go back. Never know.
George, you're doing the first married Christmas.
We were engaged this time last year, but it's funny. We were engaged, and I immediately had to go cover the Armed Forces Bowl, so we didn't really get to spend Christmas together last year. I spent
Please don't bring that up.
In Fort Worth. But yes.
It's really weird. I told George yesterday, it's really weird that it's over, that like I'm going to be participating in all of the family festivities over the next week.
I mean, we're conditioned really not to do a whole lot of Christmas stuff because of bowl games over the years. Like, I haven't had a tree in my house for a decade, I don't think. Like when I first bought the house, I was like, oh, I'm going to get a Christmas tree. I'm going to buy decorations. Did that for a couple of years. Realized, like, you get home and, like, you leave basically before Christmas starts. Well, you go see your family, and then you come back, and it's the new year, and it's just kind of depressing to come home to a bunch of Christmas stuff. So I stopped doing that. But, no, it's
we got lights and a tree in my house.
At your house?
My apartment, yeah.
Wow. Who's we?
Love Christmas. We, the collective we. I
don't know if maybe girl moved in or something.
You're off to a rough start, Carrie.
I don't think I am.
I have a... Never mind.
What, is everyone afraid to talk?
No, I have a joke that I feel like you would take too personally, Carrie.
Try it on.
Oh, no.
I was just going to say, like, I don't think any of us expected you to have a Christmas tree in your house because we've also been, waiting to get in the new studio. And so, like, I don't think
I'm not going to take that personally. I make jokes about it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen how long it takes people to put stuff together? I mean, the apartments are still.
No, I know.
The service station. My God, what are they doing to that?
I just didn't.
thing?
I would. You're visiting.
Are they turning that into an actual service station? Because that's what it looks like right now.
I have no idea.
They're totally
doing
redoing
something.
It. They're totally
I have
redoing
no idea.
It, whatever.
They've ripped off the patio and all the brick.
All of the the exterior looks pretty cool with all the brick that was like I imagined there when they built the place. Is what it looks like.
But I mean, it was
no
literally a service station before it became a restaurant.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But they're like taking it back in time, and I don't know if they painted that stuff on there about mechanics or whatever. But it looks like it's a gas station.
I mean, I think that's the stuff that was on the building when it was the service
I think you're
station.
probably right.
I have no idea.
I think you're right. Anyway.
Because I've seen pictures of it when it was the service station, like an actual gas
before
service
it was
station,
a restaurant.
and I'm pretty sure that's what it looked like.
Anyway, so transfer portal. That's where we are. We've moved on from the football season. We don't need to rehash, I don't think, any part of the game. And we've done the game day rewind. It's up now on YouTube. But I think most of our focus now is what this team is going to start looking like next year. Before we did the pod, Jacob Sexton announced he's entered the portal. We do expect other things. Go check out SoonerScoop.com now for $1. It's just going to be nonstop information from here on out. It's become kind of one of our favorite times of the year. Just it's a lot of work, but it's also we just love gathering information and finding out new stuff and putting it out there.
The thing with it too is the transfer portal information changes very quickly.
Yeah,
like I'm currently working on a story of guys that I think are Oklahoma's early targets in the portal, and I think by next week it'll be a completely different list.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people haven't entered the portal or they're considering NFL options.
I don't know about you guys, and I haven't really dug into it too much until today. I'm not super impressed by the portal market so far. Like, there's not a lot of guys that I feel like have entered that I'm like, man, that guy would be a huge difference maker for Oklahoma.
Is it different, though, because the portal isn't open yet? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
It's opening in January.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I think that it's like I know that everybody's freaking out and every guy that goes in the portal, but it's like I think that the market's going to improve in a week from now.
This would be like talking about the portal in mid-November under like regular circumstances.
But I also think that Jim Nagy and his staff, I mean, they can do a lot through the agent community, and agents can approach them and say, hey, our guy is looking to go somewhere. Are you guys interested? I'm not saying that that's exactly how it works, but stuff like, that sort is going on. I mean, that's kind of how Jim Nagy knew about Jaden Ott a year ago and kind of targeted him, which that's a bad example, I know. But, I mean, there is things going on behind the scenes with guys that haven't officially, and no one can officially enter the portal till, the 2nd?
Correct.
Well, guys can, their coaches got fired, stuff like that.
Right,
it's only just exceptions.
Florida guys.
But but what I'll say is, the guys, and I think George is right, so far you're kind of it's not that big a deal. But the guys that are going to excite OU fans or, any fan base, they don't have to send out the feelers of hey, let's get it out there that I'm going to the portal. If Cam Coleman enters the portal, nobody needs to there's no let's see what the market's like. He doesn't have to test the waters. It's going to be unbelievably good for him. So I think you've got to remember that. A lot of these guys are trying to get their name out there so they don't get lost in the shuffle, a month from now, or, I guess 2 or 3 weeks from now, when things really heat up with a lot of, maybe bigger name guys.
I would also say, too, not only is Oklahoma waiting to see who jumps into the portal in terms of what the market looks like, OU's also waiting to see their own guys and some decisions that need to be made at very key positions. I mean, they're waiting to see, what is Isaiah Satania going to do? I know that they're working very hard to try and keep him.
The who's down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
Kip Lewis, same boat. Like they don't want to lose him. Owen Heineke waiting to see if he gets another year. So some of these guys, like I think OU's, they've made contact with a number of linebackers. If Kip Lewis and Owen Heineke, decide to come back, let's say Heineke gets another year and Kip decides to come back, I don't think OU will be talking to a lot of these linebackers anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like it'll change. Or like if Satania decides to come back, Oklahoma probably their budget goes down a little bit and maybe they don't go after the biggest named wide receiver in the portal and they just try to add another, good body there. Those are the kind of things that they're waiting on. And I think it's the same with, if we want to get into it, staff changes. I think that some of that is going to change how they approach the portal or who they go after, or, let's say that they do make a staff change at a certain position. Well, that whoever they hire as that next position coach might be able to bring somebody with them,
Well, and let's set the stage too. I mean, as things stand today, and I know everybody out there listening is like, just tell us who we're going to get in the portal. And all these things that we've just said explain why it's impossible to do that at this point. But everything that we hear, we're putting it out there on SoonerScoop, so you'll get it first when we get it. But guys, yesterday was kind of the first day of staff meetings. And even before that, I think, you guys were getting wind of a lot of players getting calls from coaches kind of saying, hey, what's your status?
Are you in? Are you out?
Are you in or are you out?
I think there's also a handful of guys too, Kerry, that would fall under the category of, hey, we're going to move in a different direction.
Yeah.
That knew immediately. Now, I think there's another handful of players that don't really know yet. And I think it's largely dependent on, is their position coach still going to be in-house? And, can they go get somebody better? So I think there's still a lot up in the air. And I think the best way to put this is I think it's going to be up in the air until after the holidays.
Yes. And so I think it would surprise most of us if there were any coaching announcements made before Christmas.
Correct. That seems like maybe the most, and the more that I thought about it, because I thought, even maybe like right after the season got over on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we came in here and I thought, well, maybe they do make some type of move. But the more I thought about it, that seems like the most uncharacteristic thing of all time for Brent Venables to fire somebody if he's going to do that
right before Christmas.
Yeah. That seems like maybe the least likely thing that I could see happening.
I think you're looking at more if they make a move, which I would also say this, none of us can sit here and say we feel confident that they're going to make a move.
I feel pretty sure.
I feel, yeah, but like have any of us heard for certain that?
Not for certain, but I
that's
think
what I'm saying.
There's definitely rumblings that.
Right, but there was rumblings last year. There were.
This seems more real though.
I guess. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's happening. I'd be a little surprised if it didn't.
That's because you're a bitch. No, I agree with you though. We can't.
I just think it's more likely
sit here and say like full throttle. This is happening.
I would just say if it's going to happen, I think it would be either this coming weekend or next week.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and I think Monday. I think Monday we'll be all up early, ready to go because I think we'll probably see a lot of activity. I agree with you. I think we'll see a lot of activity on Monday.
Yeah, 100%. I don't get the sense either that I don't know. Like there doesn't seem to be a sense of urgency right now. What's the difference between today and Monday or Tuesday of next week if you're going to make a move?
You get so few, kind of vacations as a coach anyway. Like this is a time of year where you can,
especially considering you have a front office staff that is already on top of the portal. Like I can tell you, OU has a pretty good idea of who they want to go after that's currently in the portal, if any, and who they would go after if guys do enter the portal. And so and that's no matter who the coach is.
Agree.
Do we think, I'll be the bad guy here, do we think it's acceptable if there aren't changes made? Like, is that okay?
No, I'm with you, Josh. I don't think you're being a bad guy.
Yeah.
I think you're being the obvious guy. I think that it would be...
Ouch.
No, not... you know what I mean. Like, I think it's... I think it would be... If OU didn't make a single change coaching-wise, it would be tough for me to, be like, oh, yeah, that I can understand that. I don't think I would understand that.
There are rooms that need a fresh start.
Yep. Again, and I don't think, I think there's one we can all point at where, it's past due. There's a couple others where you can say, Yeah, I don't know that like a bad job has been done here, but could a better job be done? Could it be just like what Kerry was just saying, like just a fresh start, just something different? Like I think Case, I don't know. I mean, we'll see, but at least one to me just is absolutely inexcusable. It has to happen.
It's tight end room, yeah. I think we all know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can make an argument really for every room on the offense. I mean, you can make an argument for Bill with the running game, just not being anything the last 2 years. Now, it's a much better offensive line than it was a year ago, and they, were better.
And they have some young talent.
And they're going to get better. So, I mean, Bill's way down on my list of guys that, where I'd like to see a change. And
if you're going to go crazy, okay, that's one thing. But like you're saying, he just wouldn't be at the first of my list of problems.
No. To me, it's tight end, wide receiver, running back, offensive line.
Yeah, I would agree. I will say, too, I'm interested, will any of the defensive coaches get poached? Because it feels like we have that conversation every year. Guys' names come up. I wonder, would any of them get picked up? And even like a Nate Dreiling or Wes Goodwin, I would assume will be candidates for defensive coordinator jobs elsewhere. I don't know. I haven't heard that, but it is something to just kind of keep an eye on over the next month. I would not be shocked if those guys' names are mentioned.
But here's the thing: good defensive coordinator jobs right now, after having really Brent's first dominant year of a defense, and Nate Dreiling, coming from Arkansas State, where he was getting ready to be a defensive coordinator, his profile's raised, no doubt.
Well, and as accelerated as all the coaching hires were, there's just not a whole lot of jobs that are open.
That's what I mean. It's I don't really know. Yeah,
but
Michigan, you have guys like TJ Durkin out there that people don't know, where he's going to be the DC next year.
You asked me that yesterday, Kerry, and now I'm kind of thinking that they did come to an agreement with.
Okay. Well, that's what I was asking Eddie.
I told Kerry yesterday that I thought that Golish had been basically said, yeah, we want to keep him, but I don't know if I ever ended up following up and seeing if they actually came to terms. I think he's staying at Auburn, though.
And, I mean, well, look at what Texas did. I mean,
they are. Per press release 3 weeks ago, they are keeping DJ Durkin as the defense coordinator at Auburn.
By the way, what do you think about the Muschamp thing at Texas, Josh?
Wild.
I'm a huge Pete Kwiatkowski guy. I like him a lot. So
I didn't think it was so bad that they go in a different direction unless it's his age. He just wants out.
I think it came down to basically. I mean, Sark kind of threw him under the bus in his press conference, saying that he had to hold his hand. I just don't think they got along, and I almost wonder if he went to Kwiatkowski and said, "Hey, we're going to need to do something in the secondary. You're going to need to release Akina, and maybe." Kwiatkowski, is that how you say it?
I think it's just Kwiatkowski.
Kwiatkowski basically was like, we're not making any moves, or I'm not doing that. And he said, well, we'll fire both of you. I don't know, Josh. That whole thing with Sark, though, was very weird, the way that he just kind of blatantly threw him under the bus.
Well, and again, guys, I think we all feel like Texas needs a change at play caller. I don't think it was on defense that I had a concern, though. I don't know. To me, guys, I wonder if there was some – I don't want to say pressure, because I think Sark is on pretty steady ground, but and he should be. But that just felt like that he had to give somebody something, and he handed that guy up, because you cannot tell me you have a problem with their defensive play over the last 2 or 3 years. It took him a little while to get going, just like we've seen with Brent, but they were one of the best defenses in college football the last 2 years.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, but there's a guy that, somebody's going to pick him up if he wants to coach. I mean,
yes,
he's just too good not to be.
And I know, I've talked about, I would love to see OU hire a great DC and let Brent just be the head coach. I know I've argued about that, and I know not everybody feels the same. I don't think he's a good, I know people would ask, well, would he fit that? I don't think he's a good marriage. The way he plays, I don't think he and Brent would, stylistically, I don't think it's a great fit.
Yeah, I was wondering, could Beamer go get him? Who's his defensive coordinator?
I think same guy.
Clayton White.
Yeah. Same guy that he had.
They just hires their OC? Though?
Kendall Briles.
Kendall Briles, that's right.
Which I think is a good hire.
Yeah.
TCU was kind of weird. TCU was kind of weird this year. I wonder where the Josh Hoover's kid's going to end up.
I don't know, but Lenora Sellers and that Briles offense, that could be pretty fun. Like if he can get him on the right page and figure out what the hell to do with that offensive line.
Did I see that Hoover? There was a rumor about maybe Indiana being interested in him.
I did see that. Yeah.
Now, did he start his career at Indiana?
Josh Hoover?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
I don't think so.
He's a Texas.
I thought he was a TCU guy. Yeah, he's TCU.
That's what okay, never mind. Career. I don't know. Oh, I'm thinking of that tight end from Tulsa, Brody Foley, who he started his career at Indiana, then went to Tulsa.
Oh, because Kevin Wilson was the head coach.
Started quarterback for Western Michigan.
No, not because of Kevin Wilson. Kevin Wilson never coached him.
Okay.
Also, I think he's going to end up at SMU. For those interested.
The Brody kid.
Yeah.
All right.
God bless.
Someone who could probably predict the future because his vision is so good is Eddie Radosevich, who is a fine client of Enjoy Vision.
I got nothing in the hopper that can beat last week. Holiday season is upon us, and so are the savings at Enjoy Vision during holidays of LASIK. Now through the end of the year, you can save an incredible $600 on LASIK and lens replacement. All you got to do is schedule your LASIK or lens replacement consultation today at enjoyvision.com. That is the letter NJOY vision.com. Happy Merry Savings. Enjoy Vision. This is where SoonerScoop LASIKs.
Our good friends over at Cody Drug RX want to remind you that the new year is coming, and that means time for you to maybe reset some goals. I think that's something I think we all could do, especially myself. So whether you're looking to drop weight, boost energy, or just feel better heading into 2026, Cody Drug has you covered. They've got multiple custom compounded peptide-based weight loss options, including popular GLP-1 medications and performance-focused peptides that help you recover faster, burn fat, and stay sharp. Also, Cody Drug loves teaming up with Oklahoma med spas and longevity clinics to deliver high-quality peptides quickly, safely, and with top-tier service. So even though the title chase is over for the Sooners, we know that they're going to come back stronger next year, just like you should. So go check out CodyDrugRx.com to learn more about your health goals and changing things for the better with this new year and see how you can get started. So Cody Drug, personalized medicine built for champions, and Will tried. They kept their streak alive of extravagant travel. I think he called me asking if I knew anybody that had like a limo service, because people were charging like $2,000 to pick people up like at the airport and bring them to Norman for the game. I know the hotels always do well, not just here, but SEC country, Big 12 country. The limo drivers did pretty well last weekend.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
So I would have gone to pick him up, but he had like 13 people. So
yeah, they had a lot of them. Looked like a good trip. The entire day down here in Norman last Friday was awesome. You just wish that it would have turned out a little bit better on the scoreboard, but the whole event was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's something.
The Walk of Champions was like one of those moments that I like kind of just stood there and like looked around. That was the most people I had seen like north of the stadium ever.
I wasn't over there yet. How was the flyover?
It was cool. It's kind of out of nowhere, but it was badass. Got a little bit of video of it.
Yeah, it was. It's one of those days that we'll always remember, no matter how old we get. Like just having that game here.
Yeah, it was cool. It was awesome.
And the fact it was on a Friday and it still was just awesome like that. The town was a ghost town like 2 days previous.
Yeah.
Finals were going on, and a lot of people had already left campus.
It was just a really cool scene. Kind of what
college
football is supposed to be.
I'm sorry, Eddie.
Go ahead.
Do you guys remember that case that people tried to make that, like, oh, if they do these home games at stadiums, nobody's going to be there. The students are going to be out. It won't be the same kind of atmosphere. I was watching it Friday night. I was like, that looks pretty good to me. That looked incredible.
If nothing else, I kind of walked away from this first full weekend of the playoff stuff. I think it's almost kind of unanimous, which you don't get this on Twitter very often, but I kind of think it's like a unanimous thought that Not only do the first round games need to be on campus, put the second round games on campus. And I know that like Dan Lanning's come out and said that we should be playing at Tech this weekend or, January 1st. I think it would be really cool. And if they go to 16, I don't think that there's any reason that they shouldn't think about going first and second round on campus, and then you can divvy it out to the bowls. Because I think that, the other thing that has become very clear here over the first week and a half of bowl season, some of these bowls, man, I know they pay a bunch of money to get their name on the rights for the game and all that kind of stuff. I just don't think anybody cares like they used to.
The problem,
and especially with like some of the G5 schools and the lower, Power 4 teams, half of the rosters in the portal anyways, or sitting out or opting out. Like, just do away with all of it.
But the problem with doing first and second round at home is they'll have to move the schedule because and you're not going to like this, Eddie, is to fit the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I mean it's always about the Rose Bowl.
I know it's because they always play on New Year's Day.
I don't say this, but some people that I've read on the Twitters, they've always kind of wondered why they didn't go a little bit further north in the Palisades. I don't say that though. Some people do though.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not.
Well, maybe if the fire would have been a little bit further north.
Oh my God.
All right.
I don't say that though. Some people do though.
Okay.
It's kind of ridiculous, but I would have really, really enjoyed going to Los Angeles.
I love the Rose Bowl. We all wanted to go. Awesome. It's a great place to watch a football game.
The best.
It is the best place to watch a football game.
And I know that
I am. When it comes to stuff like this, I'm just kind of like the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. Just sucks.
I agree.
I don't know. I do think though that as much as we enjoyed the first round of games, or I guess I don't know if we really enjoyed them, they got to do something about the format and the setup. And it's just it's kind of like everybody else has said, like the way that we decided national champion in college football is just completely ass backwards.
Watching JMU play Oregon, I know, Eddie, you said you flipped over to something else, but
I was watching the NFL game. I had it on. I just had the NFL game on the main screen.
It was just, Josh, I'm sure you're a sicko. You were probably watching it. But, I mean, it was two different versions of football. And I know, what was it, 41-6 at halftime, and then like they put all the backups in, and JMU still being a bunch of tryhards, and they're putting up all this yardage and put some more points on the board. But if Oregon wanted to, they could have won that game 80-13.
It was, and guys, I actually thought like JMU offensively did a little more than I thought they would. But what really did surprise me, JMU's defense is pretty respected. Like, I mean, like you even look at the metric stuff, like they're like, okay, this is a, top 25 type defense, and Oregon just decimated them. Like, I mean, and that's the deal. Like, you look back even like 5 years ago, that Cincinnati team that went to the playoff, they would murder JMU. They would murder Tulane. Like, it's just, even the G5 teams aren't as good as they used to be because so much of their talent is now,
absorbed,
a depth piece in Oklahoma or Texas or wherever else.
Yeah, because no matter what, JMU and Tulane are just not going to pay the money that not group of five, but Power 4 conferences are going to pay to fill out their roster.
And Tulane's one of the ones that has money. I mean, relatively speaking.
Yeah. Tulane's not a terrible team. That's a bad matchup. Ole Miss is a bad matchup for them. I think Trinidad Chambliss is a bad matchup for a lot of people. But no, it's disappointing that, you sit there and you watch 2 games and then you watch 2 more that look nothing like those first 2 games, and you just realize we don't really have the best teams in this thing.
I am very, very intrigued to see what Ole Miss can do in the Sugar Bowl against Georgia. Because I think that Ole Miss somehow has become this team that we kind of just, I don't know, some people just kind of wrote off, and I love their response, I guess you could say, after all the Kiffin stuff. And I understand that they were playing a team that they outmatched in Tulane, but I think that they can make some noise.
Is Kewan Lacey
going to crunched?
Is Kewan Lacey going to play?
I haven't heard. I mean, he hurt his shoulder.
You would hope by January 1st. I mean, that's 8 days away.
That's not that long.
He did come back into the game and play some more after he hurt it.
Even if he plays and he's not, 100%.
Lacey did? I thought Chambliss did, but
they both did.
Did they both?
Yeah.
They both got hurt at various points.
Well, it looked like Chambliss
both
had a
came
concussion.
Back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, and I don't know, and I can say this now. I was watching a good chunk of that Ole Miss game at Eskimo Joe's in Stillwater. That was what I was up to at that point in time. And I couldn't hear the broadcast, but I kept looking at the score. I'm like, why the hell is Kewan Lacey and Trinidad Chambliss in this game? Like, this game is over. Stop putting them on the field.
They had him in there way too long.
Yeah.
For sure. So, anyway, you guys think Alabama has a chance against Indiana? I mean, not a chance, but, can they beat them?
I think they're winning straight up. I think Indiana's Super Bowl was the Rose Bowl.
You mean the Big Ten Championship?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. In fact, I would go as far to say I think they win by a touchdown or more.
Wow.
I don't think that's happening, but I do think they can win.
By 10.
Wow.
Give me 10 for a pizza.
we can bet a pizza on that.
Perfect.
That's fine.
Crumble cookie.
I just, again, I think people, they're not going to be able to play the game the way they did against Oklahoma. Like, okay, we can't run the ball. Okay, cool, great. They've seen good passing attacks. Like, they've shut down Ohio State and all their receivers. Like, what's Alabama going to do to them?
Also, I would say, to your point too, Josh, I think Indiana's going to be able to move the ball on Alabama.
Yes.
I mean, Oklahoma did. I mean, look at what Mateer did in terms of throwing the football in the game. And Mendoza, we all think, is a better player than Mateer. Like, I think Indiana will be able to move. But it would not surprise me at all if Alabama. I think Alabama's more talented.
Here's my 30-second story with Guinness. As soon as my sister and I get home for the holidays, we don't even unpack. We head straight to our pub. The bartender already knows our order, Guinness and fries. We laugh all night, catch up with old friends, and walk home with faces sore from smiling. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. That was my 30-second story with Guinness.
Guinness Draft Stout. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by Diageo Beer Company, USA, New York, New York.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I think Alabama's definitely motivated just in terms of everything that was said about them being dead. And I think a little bit of my thought on the Rose Bowl has to do with I have tremendous respect for Cignetti and what they've been able to do. I also hate him, so I want to see him lose.
But don't you also think, and maybe this is me, with the crimson glasses on, yes, what Alabama did and came in and came back, the 17-0, great job. They deserve a ton of credit. They came in and they played well. OU also handed them some of that.
Yeah.
When you think I'm not saying OU just handed them the game, but in some ways they did.
Sure.
OU was in complete control of that game. Alabama looked like they had for the last month, and then Oklahoma just shit down their legs. So I don't know if Alabama suddenly is some great team. I think they have a ton of talent. I think Kalen DeBoer is actually a pretty damn good coach. I don't think that they're going to go in and just blow out Indiana. I think Indiana is going to be very well coached. I think Mendoza is a very good football player who has played very well in big moments. I think that it's going to be a very close football game.
As bad as the first round games were, I think that we have 4 pretty good matchups in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
All 4 of the games at least add a little bit of intrigue. I was a little bit surprised to see Miami's a 10-point underdog at the Cotton Bowl. I think Ole Miss Georgia is going to be interesting. And then Oregon having to travel all the way across the country to play Tech, who I guess travels across the country as well to Miami. I find that to be fascinating.
Yeah, guys, I don't know about you. I think that Oregon Tech game is really intriguing. I think Oregon's better, but Tech, I just don't know. I don't think they're special, but we haven't really gotten to see it. I worry that offense will get stifled a little bit.
I will say this. Oregon, to me, right now, looks better than that team that played Iowa in the rain. I mean, especially defensively. And I think that Moore is more in tune with his receivers than he has been all season. They got that one guy that wasn't really doing much that's all of a sudden become one of their studs. I can't remember the guy's name. But at the same time, Oregon's still kind of that team that you saw, lose to Indiana, struggle with Iowa. Like I think that's going to be the closest game out of all four of these.
Guys, I was thinking about this. Who's the best quarterback Texas Tech faced? Sam Leavitt?
He didn't.
Leavitt was out.
I was going to say Baron Morton played. Sam Leavitt. Or didn't play. Sam
Morton
Leavitt did
right.
play.
Yeah, that's right.
But he was still kind of hurt.
But I mean,
not
Bachmeier's
Bear
terrible.
Bachmeier. Certainly not as a passer.
I mean, I just don't think they've seen anything like Dante Moore. Some of the throws that dude was making, even again, you can say James Madison's over.
They were awesome. He was awesome.
Not only have they not seen a quarterback like that yet, Josh, Oregon might have the best skill talent of anybody right now. They have so many guys, like the tight end. That guy's oh my God, he's awesome.
He's unbelievable.
I was talking to my dad during that game, and he's like, you just need to go get one of those guys. I was like, yeah, I think 6'5", 260 tight end. They're looking for that. They're definitely looking.
Run like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
In league play, Josh, I think what's the guy's name? Wegman from Houston?
Yeah.
Might be the best quarterback he played.
Yeah. And he was playing pretty good football at the time when they played them.
He threw for, in that game, he only threw for 164 yards.
I think that
let me make sure that he played that game, 35-11.
For Tech, my bigger concern isn't as much, like, I think their defense will get some stops in the game. They'll make some plays. Yeah. I more so think that
Wegman did not play in that game.
Texas Tech's offensive line is not good enough. I think that they could get abused.
Yeah, I can see that.
No, their offensive line. I mean, BYU physically dominated them up front at times, and BYU doesn't even have elite pass rushers.
When you watch that Big 12 championship game, that was the one spot where I looked. I'm like, they don't look like a top 10 team. That's the unit that I was like, and it surprised me because with that money and knowing Cody Campbell's background, I would have assumed that was the position they would sink money into first.
Actually, Wegman did play in the game. He only threw.
That might have been the game that he got
12
hurt.
passes. I think that was the guy because I knew he got hurt. That might have been where he got hurt.
What was the date on that?
That game was played.
That game, October 4th.
Okay, so it was the week before OU Texas. It was the Kent State game. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Or that might have been a Friday night game. I think that was a Friday night game. 11th, 12th? Because wasn't OU Texas on the 12th? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's a Saturday.
Okay.
What's crazy?
Unless they played 3 state Friday night games.
What's crazy to me is just Indiana's schedule, because we all know they won the Big Ten championship and they beat Ohio State. Nobody else has done that. But like you look at their schedule, they really beat the shit out of the teams they're supposed to beat the shit out of. And then you have the Illinois game that was kind of the outlier. They won that one 63-10, and Illinois is a decent football team. But they won by 5 at Iowa. They won by 10 in Eugene. That's probably the most. But everybody else, they just beat the shit, except for Penn State when they struggled. And they had that miraculous catch at the end of the game.
I think Indiana's phenomenal football team.
But I think they're the type of team that is not used to, winning, slugfests.
Well, I was going to say just being in this spot.
I'm not calling them front runners, but they play
spot.
like that.
I think that Alabama's going to be ready to play. I'd say that.
And to the Illinois game, I have some memory, Kerry, that like they were pretty beat up, if I remember right. Like I think Illinois had because I want to say they just played. They played a big game like almost a week before that, and really had a dog fight, and they had several guys come up lame.
Might have been the USC game, Josh.
Yeah, that kind of seems right, Eddie. Like,
I want to say that it was early in the year, and it was like, Illinois is in a really good spot here. And then, if I remember correctly, Illinois turned the ball over. I want to say that they had a pick six, like maybe the second or third play of the game, and it was just a boat race because we got back. I want to say that might have even been on the same day as the Kent State game because I remember getting back into the press conference after the game, and it was kind of one of those, this could be a really good game. This could be fun when we get done. And then by the time we got done with press conference stuff, it was like 24-3.
They played SC the week after they played Indiana.
Okay, maybe that's what it was.
Okay. I don't know. But what's crazy, I'm just looking at the ESPN page, going into that game, Illinois was 9 and Indiana was 19. Like that, I forgot that, Illinois had kind of had more in preseason hype than Indiana had.
Mm-hmm.
Should we talk about John Mateer?
Yeah, let's do it.
Lead the way.
I think my take has been made somewhat clear. But
I mean, I'm in line with you. I mean, I think he just needs a run game, and he needs better receivers.
Well, he's got to get better. He's got to improve himself. Like I don't think any of us are sitting here saying like he can just be the same guy next year and that's good enough.
I'll be honest with you. I'm sick of arguing about a guy that had hand surgery in the middle of the season and whether or not he can play or not. I mean, the last 2 games he threw for 300 yards against 2 pretty good defenses.
Yeah, but he
yeah, he threw picks. I get it.
Yeah.
And he threw a pick 6. And he's going to keep doing that. Next year he's going to do something stupid.
But he needs to limit it. If he can limit it, a few.
But we've also seen him not turn the ball over and take care of the football, but it limited him.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, and even Josh, I know Josh, we need to get Josh's opinion because it's different than ours. But like even we talked about this on the Game Day Rewind with Josh. It's like we all can sit here and agree that the game plan next year cannot be put everything on John Mateer's shoulders. Like I think that is not a fair expectation if he's the quarterback. Like you can't. He is not.
He needs to be closer to J.J. McCarthy in college for Michigan than Baker Mayfield in college.
I would agree with that.
Be a guy that can come up with really big plays when you need him the most. But to me, the other real big thing about it is that I don't like his mechanics are terrible.
Yeah, he's got to clean some of that stuff up.
And it's not shocking to me because even watching film, I was like, he's going to get balls batted down at the line of scrimmage with that arm angle. And it cost him an interception in the LSU game, and it's cost him count. I mean, if you get into a situation where you're 4th and long with him, you don't know if that pass is going to make it past the line of scrimmage unless he's out of the pocket. And we see the same stuff with Baker in the NFL. They're just smaller guys. But Baker doesn't throw sidearm.
I mean, that's it. Like, he's smaller, and then he gives away even more. Like, you're making it even easier to get into your passes and be a problem and that kind of stuff. It's crazy. And again,
unless you're Drew Brees, you can't get away with that shit.
Yeah. And the stuff in the pocket where he's bouncing around when he doesn't need to, and he looks uncomfortable when he's got a clean pocket.
Yeah.
Like, you got and that, like, and again, I know what you guys are saying, and I think there's merit to it. And we all know this is pretty much moot because John Mateer is going to be OU's quarterback next year. Like, I don't have any doubt about that. Unless something just crazy happens, I just don't see any way that's not the case. At the same time, I'm not one that subscribes to, well, this will just get better. The stuff you're seeing, I don't like. If you told me he was a freshman, sure, that'll get better. Like, you can clean that up. He's working with the same people that have been working with him, and he's going to fix all the stuff that clearly has been an ongoing issue. Like, I don't know about that. Like, I just think that's a more valid question than people want to acknowledge.
No, it is.
And I think the J.J. McCarthy comparison's great, Kerry. Like, if you could get that out of him, where he's not flashy, he's not going to overwhelm you, he's going to take good care of the ball, he's going to take some shots when he needs to, great.
This episode is brought to you by McAfee.
Finish your fantasy lineup?
No, but I'm joining this paid group chat with insider info.
Dude, seriously? Forward it to me. Security alert from McAfee. That group's as legit as that knockoff jersey you're wearing.
McAfee's scam detector is available in all McAfee plans for as little as $39.99 for your first year. Learn more at McAfee.com/online protection.
OU with that defense, and if they can figure out the running game, guys, they can go play with anybody next year. Like, that's absolutely on the table. But his propensity for the worst, the one thing you can't do in this scenario, and to do it so frequently, that would scare the shit out of me if I'm OU.
But doesn't to just push back just a little bit on he can't get better? Didn't we just see a few years ago Dylan Gabriel get better with the same coaches?
Yeah, in year number 2.
Well, he'd made and he did. He had been working with the same coaches for 4 years. Like, he went through 1 year with Levy, he got there, and then they changed some stuff. And, like, he was better. I push back on the argument that they played at a comparable level. 2022 Dylan Gabriel, you put him on this roster, I think OU's going to Pasadena.
I would agree with that. I would agree. I think my other thought, though, on it, in terms of getting better, is I don't know, the hand thing, I'm kind of tired of just talking about it, kind of like you said, Carrie. I do think, though, there's some merit to, like, we didn't get to see the full John Mateer, at least for those couple weeks after, because I don't think he was healthy during some of those games. The other part of that is I think it's a little unfair. Everybody's like, well, he's played four years of college football. Well, he's only played 2. Like, he started as a starter. Like, he played 1 last year against really bad competition in which he had a great year. And this year you saw him adjust in live time to really the best competition in college football with a broken hand. So it's like, to me, it's like, I just don't like this idea of like, well, he definitely can't get better. I think that he can. I'm not saying he's going to turn around and be a Heisman Trophy winner next year, but if you told me he has a little bit better footwork next year, if he has a little bit better understanding of just like defenses next year, I think I can believe that. You know, I don't think he's going to suddenly come out and throw the ball differently. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. Like, he's not going to go and just change his entire mechanics over the summer. Now, he might change a few things that help him, but I think he can get a little bit better, and maybe that's all they need is him to be a little bit better with a little bit better players around him.
Yeah, and look, I don't think he's going to go out and like try and change his mechanics. I don't think Ben Arbuckle wants that, but he's got to learn to play around his limitations better.
Yeah, and Ben Arbuckle has to learn to not. Like, and maybe this was a good year for him to learn this about Mateer. Like, you can't, at Washington State, you could just run everything through John Mateer because you weren't playing the best competition. I think that he learned, Ben Arbuckle, this year, you can't do that in the SEC.
It's a lot like watching JMU against Oregon. They're running all that stupid little, eye candy shit, and it just doesn't do anything. Like, that's what happens when you get into the SEC. It's just like Jeff Lebby and the jet sweep. It's like, he didn't have the people, unless you have one of the fastest players in college football, it's not going to work in the SEC. Unless you have the guy that Miami has. What's the freshman that they have, Josh?
Tony.
Yeah.
Malachi? Yeah.
Yeah, Malachi Tony. Like, you got to have that guy if you're going to do that shit in the SEC. I mean, and not everybody has that guy. I know you certainly doesn't have that guy. I mean, Satane is a fast guy, but still, doing all the little window dressing shit and all that, like, that's what Ben Arbuckle had to learn. That's what Jeff Lebby had to learn. Like, it works in some places. It's not going to work when you're playing really good people. And it's the same thing with, how much you put on John Mateer's shoulder. You put too much on his shoulder in this league against these defenses, and they're going to adjust, and they're going to take advantage of that in some way, shape, or fashion. And like I said, the perfect thing is to get him to change his throwing motion. That's just not a realistic ask.
And I don't think you want to. Like, as much as I, have my questions about Mateer, like, you got to let him play his game. You start messing with stuff like that, now I don't know what you get out of that. I don't think that goes the way you want it to.
I almost think it's more just footwork stuff than it is actual arm slot.
That's to
if
me.
You can clean that stuff up.
Yeah. Or just staying in the pocket, just having better pocket presence, like just staying in trusting the pocket. I think that, to me, if he just did that
stuff can be cleaned up. That can be done,
and that's more the stuff. Like, when you're at Washington State, you can freelance all you want. But
now, none of us are saying though that he for sure will. I just think that if you're Oklahoma, you have to hope that he does. Like, and then move forward and not, because I just again. There's a couple guys that have entered the portal at quarterback that I'm like, oh, maybe he would be an upgrade. I just don't know if it's worth the risk.
I would say it as simply as this. I don't think that's even an option right now. Unless he goes pro, which I think would be a moronic decision. I think John Mateer is going to be the quarterback.
Yeah, and we can talk about that. I know there's some of that rumors out there that he's considering it.
Yeah, I've seen the rumors as well. I just don't think that that's a realistic option.
Well, I think
then you guys could join me in doubting his decision making.
No, the accurate thing is, I think George, if I put it this way, it'd be accurate. It's not so much John Mateers considering this; it's people around him are kind of putting that out there.
Yeah, and I ultimately, and maybe he is. I honestly don't know. I've reached out to a few people that are very close to him, and have not heard back. So maybe he is seriously considering it. I know that it's a really bad quarterback class, and so maybe that's part of the decision.
The argument that makes a lot of sense because I think everybody knows that next year that quarterback class is going to be jam packed with big time guys.
But here's what I would tell Mateer is, and I'm sure NFL teams are going to tell him this when he gets draft grades and all that, is like, hey, you need to go play a full season healthy and show us that you can be a better player, in the SEC. Because if he does that, and I understand the quarterback class and it could be really good. Well, if John Mateer comes back next year and has a really good year and shows that he can be a better player and he shows some of the improvement we're talking about, he'll still be one of the top guys. It maybe not as high as this year just because of the class, but he'll still be drafted relatively high because somebody will fall in love with him.
They're not slowing down on drafting quarterbacks anytime soon in the NFL.
No.
They need as many as they can get.
To put it in perspective, I was listening to a couple different people. There is real confidence that, because we kind of there was I don't know if we did. I know I certainly did. Like, oh yeah, Arch Manning's coming back. Huge shock. There are a lot of people that believe he would be a first-round pick this year if he'd have gone out. And we know how up and down his year was.
So that's settled.
Somewhat. I mean, you never say never, but I do think that it feels very likely that John Mateer is going to be the starting quarterback next year. So people just kind of need to accept that.
But I think the idea that we're saying is the idea of them going out and getting a different quarterback in the portal. It's not realistic, and I don't think Ben Arbuckle would allow that to happen if he was.
I don't think Brent Venables would. The way Brent talked after Brent said after the game, he's like, if the defense and special teams played better, I'd be up here telling you how John Mateer won us the football game. I don't think you say that if you don't believe in the guy.
Yeah,
I mean that certainly wasn't stuff he was saying after games with Jackson Arnold a year ago.
Guys, and you were there. Did that sound more like, to me, I was like, is this more of that same, we can't ever tell the offense what it was? Because I'm not saying the offense was bad, because it wasn't. But, they're just as culpable as any other unit, maybe other than special teams.
Yeah, I think it was more, he was asked a big picture on Mateer in terms of, how he performed this season, and he just kind of went into that, where he was like, look, John made some mistakes tonight. He's made some mistakes all year, but he's also shown you glimpses of how great he can be all season long. And those glimpses were there, Friday night as well. So I don't think it was just like Brent ignoring the offensive letdown. I think it was more of him just saying, "Hey, we believe in John."
But, okay, that's totally fair. I didn't know what the context of the was.
I could see it because I'm the person that always brings it up that maybe he has a blind side to the offense, but I do think he was genuinely like, we believe in John Mateer.
I think it'll be interesting if Kevin Wilson sticks around, stays in his role, kind of how much he and Ben Arbuckle go into the lab this offseason, going into spring ball, looking at, what did and didn't work, looking at the run game, all that stuff. Because I really felt like Ben Arbuckle came out of the season feeling like he's learned a lot. And there's a lot of stuff that he needs to do differently. And Josh, you said it. You thought his game plan for this was very good against Alabama.
I loved what they did. I liked a lot of it. And again, I think it's just growing what your soft points are. I think there's no question. You talk about drawing it up. Ben Arbuckle can draw it up. There's open receivers. There are good plays there to be had. I think looking at your sequencing, and maybe that's something he sits down with Kevin Wilson and they go over that. What do we like here? Why do we like this in this kind of order? In this scenario, what do we like? And I think a lot more consideration. Probably my biggest thing of the year was, what are you doing with the personnel groupings you have on the field? Why, if this guy's out there, you probably shouldn't do this thing or that, whatever it was. One of the ones I really harped on toward the end of the year was stop running bubble screens behind Deion Burks. And he finally stopped doing it, and they threw one to Deion Burks, and good things happen. You're putting him in a situation where he's not going to succeed. You want Giovanni Gibson out there lead blocking? Sure, no problem.
Well, and also, being on 4th and whatever and not having Isaiah Satania on the field.
Yes.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Yes, stuff like that is that can't happen. And I mean, I get it. I get it. Like it did, and that's fine. I still am a bit an Arbuckle guy. I think he's really good. I think he's just there's stuff you have to learn.
Look, Lincoln Riley's the closest thing we've probably ever seen. I mean, Mike Leach, because he was just here for a year, but he's the closest thing that we've ever seen to a offensive coordinator that didn't get a lot of criticism, although it was there because he didn't run the ball enough early in his tenure. And there were times, I remember that Iowa State game, I think it was, where he just gave the ball to God, I can't even remember the running back's name now.
Who? What are we talking about?
Lincoln Riley.
In what game?
The Iowa State game.
Dimitri Flowers.
No, that wasn't the game where he was the only running back. It was
that was the game that
the guy
Nixon
that won the
suspended.
Texas game, running back.
Oh, Kenny Brooks.
Kenny Brooks. God damn. No, he gave the ball like 7 straight plays to Kennedy Brooks, and they just went right down the field after they hadn't been running it, effectively the whole game. I think that was the
that's too like that's the other thing. Going back to Mateer and this Arbuckle too. I think that Arbuckle felt like they could not run the football at all, and they didn't have any dynamic players at running back, so they kept going away from it. Now I felt like in the Alabama game they should have kept going back to it. I don't know what was going on there. They need to go out and get somebody at running back, in my opinion.
In the portal, you mean? Because they got Jonathan Hatton.
Yeah, and they got Jonathan Hatton coming in, DeZephan Walker, Torrey Blaylock, we believe is going to be back. Xavier Robinson, I don't know. It feels like that could be up in the air. I think he'll be back, but who knows with the transfer portal. No matter what, though, whether he leaves or not, I think they need to go out and get somebody that can be a dude.
And can kind of deal with DeMarco
basically
Murray.
Basically be Jaden Ott, but play. And
be a
good.
Jaden Ott that can handle DeMarco Murray.
Yes.
All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, portal-wise, like we said at the beginning, it's all still coming together. We're all keeping track of it. All that information will be on SoonerScoop. As soon as we get it, we'll have, once we get past Christmas, it'll be pretty much a daily occurrence that you'll get some information that we've gathered, throughout. So nothing really new to add unless there have been some entries during the podcast. But
Nope.
Jacob Sexton right before the podcast was
Jacob
the last.
Sexton.
And obviously, maybe we didn't talk about it, but, linebackers, it's something to keep an eye on. It's
I think
definitely
it's gonna skyrocket to. I don't know if it'll top the list, but I certainly think it's going to be. If Kip Lewis leaves, which I don't know. It just kind of feels like he's going to, but we'll see. If Kip Lewis and Owen Heike are gone, then I think they're going to have to get really busy in the portal.
The conversation with Kip is just really interesting because I do think that OU has some chips to play in this whole thing.
Yeah.
I think he would make more money next year at Oklahoma than he would in the pros.
I've been told
probably.
that the biggest problem Kip's going to face is that he's not fast. Like, he does not
and he's
test
not
well.
the biggest.
No, and he's not very big. So he's a small guy that doesn't have elite speed, and that doesn't signify a high draft pick. Or even a middle of the road draft pick even.
Do you mean just doesn't have elite speed for being the size he is?
No, I'm saying he's slow. Like, I've been told by he doesn't test well at 40.
Really?
Which is and they said, we know this is shocking. But he he plays faster than he runs.
I was going to say he's one of those guys that just doesn't test well, but if I had a linebacker or if I needed a linebacker and I was like, I need that guy to go tackle the ball the entire game, I'd take Kip Lewis 10 times out of 10.
But the NFL doesn't look at it that way.
Yeah,
George knows this.
Sure.
They don't, but like on day 3, though, somebody would take him because of his tape.
No, I'm not saying he would go
experience.
undrafted.
Right.
I'm just saying he's not going to
But I don't think he's a day 2 guy.
No.
I don't think.
No.
I think he's like a day 3, like 5th round pick, and he could, eventually work his way into playing for somebody.
It kind of goes back to, the Brian Asamoah thing, right? Like he took the bet on himself, got drafted went to the Vikings.
He tested really well.
Did he?
I believe he did.
So maybe it's a little bit different.
Yeah, Asamoah could really run.
And remember, Danny tested really well, and he just shut it down. He just ran his 40.
The guy that Kip has always reminded me of is Levante David. Like the way super active, not a really big guy. I was looking, I want to see what he ran 4.65 at the combine.
Wow.
Like, and went in the second, to be fair to him. Now, I think, he had a little more notoriety going in than I think Kip would have. But again, like Kip's instincts are what make him special. He just sees it so well. But yeah, I agree with George. Like I think he's a third day. I think he's an early third day guy.
Yeah, 4th or 5th
But like I
round.
think, agreed. But I also agree with Eddie. I think he'd make more money at OU next year than he would in the NFL. And that's again assuming he makes a roster.
I think he and Satania are in the same boat where OU is looking to offer similar deals to what they did last year to Burks and R. Mason Thomas, where they were very high priority. They're going to get paid a ton of money to stay, and then it's, do they feel like – and I think Burks is a little different because he didn't really do anything last year, so he had a lot still left to prove, whereas Satania, I think if Satania went, he's getting drafted and would probably play for somebody pretty quickly just because he can be your
help
punt
everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, he can be your punt returner. He can be your kick. Like, I'm not saying he'd be like a early, I don't even know if he'd be a day 2 pick, but somebody's going to draft him, and he'll probably play. Whereas Kip, I think, is a bit more like he could still come back, prove some more. I don't know how much, though, he can realistically actually – like, if he's actually not testing well, then he's probably not going to improve his draft stock a ton coming back. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Heineke,
I would see Satania as a 3rd or 4th kind of guy.
Yeah. Heineke, I'll tell you guys this. There's not a lot of optimism going on there. So
that sucks.
Yeah. So we'll see. Again, you never know with the NCAA. He does. What's the date? I need to look up. They have to declare by.
I just think that whole thing is so stupid.
Oh, you can get a 23-year-old Russian basketball player for a semester.
Sick.
But they can't get an extra year for Owen Heineke.
It's sick.
Hey, guys, and George, maybe you know the answer. Like, if they can't get Heineke and Kip leaves, could they revisit Kobe? Like, hey, man, like,
yeah, they could.
Isn't that a conversation?
And I don't know all the like. I think Oklahoma would like to have Kobe back. What does Kobe feel about that? I have no idea. And I think Kobe's a program guy, but like, I don't know. It feels like there was some other reasons for why he jumped in the portal.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he waited and waited, and then as soon as he gets hurt, he lost a starting job. Like it kind of went on. He played 12 snaps against Alabama.
January 14th is the date. So that's kind of the date we have to wait and see. Does Heineke hear before then? Because the NCAA could screw him, and if they don't even get back to him by January 14th, he's going to have to declare for the draft. And at that point, I don't know if there's any going back after that.
I was reading about it, George. You can remove your name until like February 7th or something like that. So like,
there you go.
I'm guessing he declares and then could back away a little bit if he needed to.
Yeah, there are all kinds of like you have like emergency like declaration or pullouts or whatever. Like they like have all these different dates, and I never understand what kind of the criteria are to meet. This date to pull your name out or this date to pull your name out.
And I would also say I know there were some confusing parts of him accepting the invite to the Senior Bowl. That doesn't there's only limited spots at the Senior Bowl. So you have to, once you get invited, it's like you need to accept it. And you can always back out of that invitation and acceptance if you change your mind. But for Heineke's sake, in case he doesn't get the extra year, he is accepting the Senior Bowl invite because that's obviously a huge opportunity.
All right. OU Hoops, women set a record men set a record for shooting percentage and points or something like that last night, Eddie?
Points, program points.
Okay.
126 they scored against North Carolina Central. And then the men set the single game record for field goal percentage in a game, 67.8. They scored 107. So it was good. It was good. It was they did exactly what you're supposed to do against a really bad basketball team. They came out and beat their ass. So got one more non-conference game against Mississippi Valley State or Mississippi Grand Valley, something like that. You would have to scroll all the way down to the bottom to find them in Ken Palm. So you should get another little kind of test up, beat their ass type of game. Then you open conference play a week from Saturday against Ole Miss. SEC, as we were talking about in the office earlier, it's not a great conference right now. Still really good basketball teams, but it's definitely not anywhere close to what it was a year ago. So I think they're trending in the right direction. Gonzaga's really good. Nebraska's still undefeated. And Arizona State, that was they just played bad. They had that, 32-5 stretch or whatever in the first half, and weren't able to survive it. So I think they're playing very well, very connected on the offensive end. And certainly when you look at the analytics for Oklahoma right now, this is the best offensive team that Porter Moser's had at Oklahoma. So it's, I don't know. I'm very intrigued to see what they can do in conference play.
Alabama the class of the league right now?
I don't know. They have a bunch of losses, but they played one of the toughest schedules in the country. I don't know.
Because we were just watching Kentucky earlier, and they suck.
Kentucky's not great. I think they have the talent. I wouldn't give up on them. I think they'll get it together by the end of the year. Florida's still decent. You know, it's not the national championship team like they had a year ago. Auburn's pretty good. Alabama's pretty good. Mississippi State's not very good. Texas has been gross. OU's decent, I guess. Missouri's terrible. South Carolina's not very good.
Fighting about
Georgia's
Missouri.
in the top 25. Yeah, I think that they have some coaching issues right now. They got their ass whooped by Illinois Monday night. Yeah, so like it's just kind of there. They're just kind of a gross conference right now. The Big 12 is going to be incredibly fun.
All right, Josh. Anything? I know we're in the dead period, but anything other than national games getting ready to come up with recruiting?
No, I mean that's really about it. As you know, Carrie already booked some travel for Under Armour. Going to spend New Year's Eve in Orlando, which is just a hellscape. But I can't tell you how not excited I am about that.
I would rather I'd rather fly there in like July and go to Disney and bake than go there on New Year's Eve.
Guys, you want to know something really bad? And I don't think I've told you guys this yet. I get to go to Orlando twice in the next basically month because we have another Disney trip upcoming that will make me want to kill myself. So,
and you have to.
So I get to go to Orlando twice.
That's the other thing. You had to pay like the price of a used car, and then you want to kill yourself.
Yes, the first time we did it, I thought I was doing it once. So everybody that's like, oh, if your wife comes to you and says like, this is a once in a lifetime thing, we got to do this. Don't trust it. Be very skeptical.
Fortunately, Josh, Eddie doesn't know the pain, but the Russell Athletic Bowl back in the day was very much the same type of a trip.
Oh, that just like Russell Athletic. I mean, that sounds like, you got what you paid for on that deal. That just sounds like a shitty bowl.
Although you went back for the Florida State game, right?
Yeah. That's when Bob and I drove down from Atlanta after we spent the night in Atlanta because of the Southwest flights and stuff.
You just can't go to Orlando without some form of hell taking over.
Because you're going to hell. How could you possibly escape it?
My niece,
we have the pulse
of
Orlando.
She lives in Florida, and she's a Disney weirdo. So she went to UCF. All right. Well, once again, Merry Christmas to you guys. I'll take this moment to give my appreciation to you all. Everybody's been working their asses off lately. I had to keep Eddie from going to the Stetson game last night. I almost had to forbid him from going. I knew it wouldn't be worth your time.
Missed out on a record-setting performance, too.
What did you do when you went home last night? Did you do something enjoyable?
No, I watched the Thunder game and I watched the OU game and Watched some other college basketball games that were out and about last night.
It's just nice to have a Thunder win, just kind of cleanse the palate a little bit.
Yeah, they played well. It was good to see Dub do what he does in the fourth quarter, and
it's almost
SGA
getting exciting
well.
to see, like, can the Thunder win a game with just 5 players?
Shout out Hartenstein, too, last night. He was wearing the 1984
the
Detroit
Barry
Lions
Sanders.
Barry Sanders jersey.
That was
pretty
cool.
sick. Big game coming up tomorrow, or I guess Thursday. Spurs.
And tonight.
Oh, it's a back-to-back. That's right. I
They
forgot
play the
about
Spurs
that.
tonight.
Yeah.
Oof.
Hell
Get
yeah.
ready to hate Wemby. He's going to be a dick.
I completely forgot about that. It's going to be awesome.
I thought I'd heard a rumor he might not play. Has that been cleared up?
He might not play back-to-back. That could be true.
Yeah.
So they
this
play
might
Thursday.
be the one he takes off.
Some are
and he
not
plays
built for
Thursday.
Tuesday, Thursday.
Some are not built for the moment.
Tuesday, Thursday.
So true.
By the way, if you guys want to go check the Game Time app, just saying.
On Christmas Day.
Promo code ON3.
Promo code
ON3.
Terms do apply.
Game time decision tonight, Josh. Calf.
Okay.
AJ Mitchell out. Concussion.
He got a concussion last night?
I guess so. Jang and Jay Will are both out too tonight.
Huh.
Oh no. How are we going to live without Oos?
I say the same thing.
I got no problems with Ooze. He's trying.
He just is what he is.
Yeah. He is not the guy that was drafted next to J-Dub. I mean, he was, but he's not living up to being drafted next to J-Dub.
Yeah.
J-Dub looked good last night anyway. All right, that's going to do it. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Hey, we really appreciate you guys for listening, especially, driving. Everybody be safe driving.
In the 80-degree weather.
In the 80-degree weather, yeah.
Christmas should be canceled with this weather.
It's ridiculous.
But, you got other people out there partying and stuff, so keep your head on a swivel. We don't want anybody being in any bad car accidents or anything like that. So we hope you have safe travels, and hopefully you're not going to Orlando, to Disney for Christmas, even though I'm sure your kids will love it. Thoughts and prayers, T's and P's, if that's the case. But thank you, everybody, for listening. It's been a great year. It's not over. We'll be back again next week. But we go to the portal. We'll be there. That's where you'll find us. Until next week, we'll be back right here on the Unofficial 40 podcast at SoonerScoop.com.